Hey, YouTube, for everyone can't anticipate what I have to say. Because why not? This is going to be a video on a lot of things. First of all, I'd like to say I uploaded a new playlist and won't even watch those. Maybe you think I'm a complete idiot, but if you like Bill Hicks, Rich Garland, people like that, you might like these. It was actually very good, or a pretty good video rather, about from Bill Hicks about it was mandatory marijuana. And it's a joke. It's funny, and I think I've uploaded it before. I think I have actually uploaded more recently, but that was a pretty good one, or it's a pretty good video. So if you want to see that video, it's called Bill Hicks Mandatory Marijuana. And obviously, I'm not saying marijuana should be mandatory. It's a fucking joke. But the point is, it's a good video, and I accidentally deleted it from my playlist. But there's a lot of other good videos in there from Carlin and Hicks, and I also have the Immortal Technique. And again, I do not hate Alex Jones. I like Alex Jones. In fact, I'm not talking about him. I don't want to make this video about him. But I just want to say I did upload an Immortal Techniques video with John Alex Jones, and more importantly, that I uploaded uh, um, various songs, some W. Reed theme song, Backcountry. I mean, like, there's good shit in there. If you've never seen it, it's a good fucking playlist. The point is, brother. And there went someone that was watching. Anyways, listen, I know no one's gonna watch this, but the point is, I don't even know why I tried. The point is, rather, I saw a video recently, and this was something that kind of slightly troubled me about genital mutilation. And it was these girls being interviewed, and I think it was probably whoever made the fucking video was just kind of like keeping out people that were against it. I don't know who the fuck these girls were. I doubt, because I've seen lots of videos from America and from other parts of the world as well, where not all the girls are against, or I mean for circumcision rather, but this was about genital mutilation, and they're like, well, no, it's more hygienic, and all this bullshit, like, these stupid valley girls, pretty much. But I find I am circumcised, but I will tell you this: I didn't ask to be. I don't want to be. And maybe you did to your kids, or you are, or whatever else. But if you stop and think about it, it's pretty fucking crazy. That's all I'm saying, and it's just messed up, and I don't understand that, or why the fuck you continue to still do this. And like I said before, I have talked about this before, and I don't want this video to be about circumcision mainly, but 100, between 80, let's just say a lot of children die. You know how many? I've said it a million times. I don't want to be like a broken record, but they do that. There have been children who were nothing wrong with transitioning gender other than this was not their fucking choice. They didn't choose to transition gender. They had the cock cut off, and some of them got depression. One of them grew up. He killed himself probably before, I think at 18, before the age of 18, he killed himself because he had to transition gender because of a botched genital mutilation. They didn't go right, and that he shouldn't have had to have gone through, and it was bullshit. So that's something I don't like, especially when you're against one form of genital mutilation if it's done to females, but not males. I mean, just be against all of this shit. I don't even want to go to detail. It's just stupid, played out nonsense, and I don't see why the fuck you people refuse to admit anything that is ever wrong with your fucking culture, your damn country, especially when you go around telling other damn countries anything wrong with them. And then you label me insane. I'm crazy because I don't understand why in the hell you continue to still do this. It's bizarre. It's weird. There's no reason to continue to mutilate your children's genitals or your kids' genitals, rather, and I'm not going into it. Beyond that, I also just want to talk to you about the fact that you're actually living in a fucking matrix. Never mind just genital mutilation, the fact there's no reason to do that, and it can kill you, and it can kill your child, and it's weird and bizarre, and some adult males grow up to be really fucked up if they're not cut because they don't know should they be, and like, do women want them to be, and then you have broads like these cunts in that video saying shit like they were saying, and just really brutal crap. So you're threatening people with mutilation mutilation. You're saying horrible things about them that you don't about people you don't fucking know. And you talk about cultures that do circumcise, but there's plenty of cultures that don't. You seem to be discriminating against them, in my view. I mean, you're not even taking that into consideration. It's just fucking bizarre. And I would rather not be, but I don't really care so much that I'm not. And I'm sure most fucking people really, or at least rather the majority of people would not be. And it's weird. But I have talked enough about that now. But not getting off that, I would like to tell you that you live in a fucking matrix. And I mean, you truly do. And I've heard about, like, one of the things I've heard about John's well, we can't have artificial room. We can't have a lot of different technology or tech that can hook you up, maybe to stimulated reality, because they may trap you in this matrix. I would just like to remind you, your entire civilization and society is really a fucking matrix, brother. Because first of all, gender is certainly a fucking man. I think most people are realizing, or a lot of people at least are realizing, starting to understand, even in this freaking country, this backwards country, that religion is bullshit and it's not really real. But even like, and of course, I'm not talking about circumcision there, because in this country, I just want to say, to make this clear, in this country, the majority of circumcision is done for cosmetic purposes. And like I have said before, I do think it's a little bit better if it's for a religious reason, but even then it's fucked up. And the only real proper reason to do that is if there is a serious, legitimate medical reason to have the procedure done. And in the majority of cases, there isn't. There wasn't with me. There probably wasn't with you. And it's horseshit. And there's no reason to do that. And it's very rare that anyone will ever have to get circumcised later in life or anything like that. And it's just bogus. But with that being said, regardless, the point is, rather, what I want to make fucking more obvious or clear, rather, is this. And that is, time itself is really an illusion. Even time. Beyond that, I mean, I suppose time is real, rather, or your time. And I mean, you're not listening to me. I mean, I can't even keep a fucking viewer for more than a minute. So the point is, rather, and on that one, I think I'll take a drink. 1 minute. A minute. I'm hurrying up as fast as I can with this crap. Right not. I'd rather drink myself to death and like I'm going anywhere in life anyways. Regardless, rather, the point is, time is an illusion. I mean, it's real, or there's some truth to time insofar as, yeah, you are born, and then as you get older, you're going to age, and then eventually you very many will maybe likely die. So it's real in that way, but if you really think of time and think about it, it's just something we made up. If you really think about it, if you look at it, and I think this was something Lewis Black said, though this isn't the only guy I heard this from or learned this from, but he pretty much put it this way. We have time for one fucking reason and one reason only. And then, by the way, Lewis Black defended circumcision because he's Jewish, and that's fine. Like, I'm not saying that everyone has to agree with everything the fucking thing I say. Just take some of what I say into fucking consideration once in a while. I do what a lot of you say. Can you at least take some of what I say into consideration? Or at least hear me out? But whether the point is, regardless, he said that time is pretty much an easier way of explaining where the fuck you are from one day to the other. It's like, you don't want to look up at the sky every day and say that, well, the sun's over there, right? And I'll meet you tomorrow. 1 minute. But it's like saying this, or rather it's like this. The sun is over there, okay, and I'll meet you later today, or tomorrow rather, when the sun is over here. It's like that gets old pretty quick. So they came up with a system of exact time, where when this clock is like on this number, and then it's on this number, then I'll meet you there. But it's not really real. It's just something we made up. I mean, we made it up for a reason. I'm not necessarily against it, but it's something we made up. And even something like, especially if you start to think about, or you start thinking about rather daylight saving time, it's like, that is fucking stupid. Here, I have an ideal. Let's do the thing that gives you 1 more hour of sleep or whatever, if you have a job, whatever that is, and then just leave it that fucking way. I mean, because I think, and I got this from a dirt sheet writer that works in the wrestling business. I don't agree with everything he says. He's kind of a funny guy. But the point is, rather, he said something to the effect of, the winter is already depressing enough for a lot of people without the ideal the sun is going to die at 5 o'clock every day. Just keep the fucking time reasonable. Like, you just made this shit up. And it's the same thing with gender. Gender is completely made up. Yeah, there are biological differences between the sexes that is quite a bit different, and there's some confusion there even with me as to what to call what and who's who. But rather, you have one person that has birth, they are rumen, and that was where that came from. So the feminists that complain because they had men on it, no, it all comes from human, rumen, man comes from woman, man, rumen. And you're saying separate the genders even more pretty much by calling woman with an O or something in the man part. So to pretty much change the name, or rather to change the spelling of woman so that women are no longer connected through language to men. So you're ultimately saying, let's make the genders even more specific. You're not actually helping anything with that. For the feminists that say they want to deconstruct the gender system, actually, no, you're not. But that's made up bullshit. You're pretty much all that. There's no huge differences between men and women. There really isn't. Race is fucking made up, completely made up. It may have made more sense at one time for various reasons, but largely now in a multiracial and multicultural society, there's no reason to keep that. As I said, religion is made up. Genital mutilation of males or females is made up. And you know, so on and so forth. I think countries, nations, I mean, that's made up. If you think about it, you're drawing imaginary lines in the sand and then saying that's one country and then we're another country. I mean, that's largely made up and it causes all kinds of problems. It can be for the better in some cases, but largely drawing these imaginary lines in the sand, this makes it even more difficult. Now you have this massive immigration problem that's going to lead to mass overpopulation because you now have us in this country. We can't go to that country, but they're coming to this country, whether you like it or not. And it's like, where the hell is anyone going to go? Then on top of all of that, your currency is made up, really, because it doesn't matter whether you're using a fucking penny or a seashell. It's all the same thing. Just give someone something and let them give you your fucking shit that you need. Who gives a rat's ass? It's all printed paper. They made up. It's not measured in anything anymore. You just made up crap. It's like the fact that no one understands that to me is absolutely fucking infuriating. It's fascinating, this knowing of your insanity, but it's also infuriating. So you're living in a matrix. Your entire society is made up nonsense. Oh, say can you see insanity? All right, B666.